Okay, so this episode starts with a Huji warning. Things are about to get intense, especially for anyone practicing martial arts. Our boy is running for his life through some seriously spooky mountains, dodging trees and branches like a pro. He's clearly escaping something, panting and desperate, but what is chasing this dude? He's sprinting but then, no guai, he tricks over a root and goes tumbling down a cliffside. He's flailing, trying to grab onto anything, but it's a long fall and he's straight up losing control. This dude hits the ground hard, and honestly, it looks brutal, with dust and debris flying everywhere. He's lying there, completely wrecked, barely conscious, but still trying to process what just happened. But get this. It turns out his future descendant sent nanomachines back in time, and they're a CTVT inside him right now. He curses as he realizes his legs are completely messed up, but the nanomachines are already scanning the damage. He's analyzing everything, the terrain, the injuries. And honestly, it's a little creepy how fast it's happening. He catches a glimpse of something in the darkness, and his eyes widen with shock, recognizing the source of his pain. This dude is furious, yelling at whoever did this to him, but he's still weak and barely able to stand. He stumbles forward, determined to find the people responsible, and spots shadowy figures lurking nearby. He's getting closer, and it's clear these aren't just random attackers. They're all wearing the same cloaks. He finally confronts them, accusing them of orchestrating everything, and demanding answers. The cloaked figures respond with a chilling chuckle, revealing they've been waiting for young Master Cheon. They say he must be exhausted from running, but it's clearly a taunt, and things are about to go down. He's absolutely livid, screaming at them, but these guys seem totally unfazed by his anger. He demands to know why they're after his life, but they straight up don't care about his feelings. They reveal it doesn't matter if he gives up on the academy, or if his fighting is laughable. They're after him regardless. These guys are cold, saying there's no way he can escape as long as he's a potential heir. Now they're moving in for the kill, demanding he give them his neck. Seriously? But then a ghostly figure appears, all blue and ethereal, and starts talking about lowly birth. What even is that? He says despite our boy being of lowly birth, because the blood of his holiness runs through him, they'll make his death painless. Our boy is furious. How dare they slander his mother, right? He's about to lose it. He's screaming about his mother's honor, but honestly, these assassins don't seem fazed at all. But the nanomachines are still working, analyzing everything, and it's clear this dude is about to get a major power-up. He's clearly enraged, and with the nanomachines going crazy, things are about to get wild. One of the assassins questions if Guard Jang taught him how to fight, but it's a total setup. Someone shouts kill him, and suddenly a swarm of assassins descends from the trees. No way! Our boy starts running for his life, dodging the initial attacks, but he's seriously outmatched right now. He dodges another slash, and the nanomachines are analyzing everything, recognizing his movements are clumsy. Despite having no training, he refuses to give up, and the observer notes the blood of holiness is strong within him. The observer continues, saying this dude doesn't know how to fight, but he's surprisingly resilient. An assassin lunges with a blade, and our boy barely manages to dodge, getting a nasty cut on his arm. He's getting overwhelmed, but the nanomachines are working overtime, learning from every attack and near miss. Another assassin attacks, but he manages to dodge again. It's a desperate scramble for survival. He's getting sliced up, but this dude is determined, and the nanomachines are about to unlock something huge. He tries to fight back with the knife, but an assassin grabs him, straight up choking our boy. The observer is watching it all, chuckling like this is some kind of sick game. Another assassin moves in for the kill, raising a sword, and things look relo bad for our hero. But the nanomachines kick into overdrive, analyzing the attack and somehow anticipating the move. He barely manages to twist away, but the blade still finds its mark, a deep cut across his chest. The observer is shocked, yelling what? He clearly didn't expect this dude to survive that. Another assassin attacks, and this time the blade plunges into his side. It's brutal. But even as he's stabbed, the nanomachines are learning, adapting, and our boy is still fighting. This dude is seriously messed up, but the nanomachines are evolving at an insane rate. He's taking a beating, but the power-up is happening. This is where it all changes. The assassins are relentless, and our boy is taking a beating. Blood is flying everywhere. He's on the ground, completely vulnerable, but the nanomachines are still working overtime. The observer is grinning, straight up enjoying the carnage, but something's off about his expression. The assassins are circling, and they suspect this is a trick, like he wanted them to attack. One of the assassins comments on how clever he is, even while dying, and thinks he could be amazing with training. Another assassin makes a move, sword flashing, but our boy anticipates it. No way! He dodges and the blade slices through the air, showing just how fast he's becoming. But the assassins are still there, and they're closing in for the kill. It's a desperate situation. One assassin slashes, and this dude gets cut badly. It's brutal, but he's still analyzing the technique. Our boy is down, but the nanomachines are evolving, and he's clearly learning from every single attack. He coughs up blood, absolutely wrecked, but the nanomachines are still analyzing the attack. It's insane. This dude's eyes are wild with pain, but he's clearly processing everything, even while bleeding out. The assassin goes for another stab, and our boy barely manages to block, but the blade still finds its mark. He's reeling, gasping for air, and the rain is coming down in sheets. It's a total disaster. The assassin presses his attack, but our boy is somehow still fighting back, even with so many wounds. He's losing straight up, but he manages to grab the assassin's hand, and his fingernails are claws. Our boy is out of tricks, exhausted and bleeding, but he's determined to survive. This is epic. The nanomachines are evolving fast, and he's adapting to the fight. It's a desperate, last-ditch effort. He's completely broken, covered in blood, but he's still analyzing. This dude is a machine. The assassin moves in for the kill, but our boy is about to unleash something new. This is going to be good. He's pressing hard on the wound, trying to stop the bleeding, but it's a mess. Straight up a crimson waterfall. The assassin finishes the job, sword through the chest, and our boy hits the ground. It's over, right? But the cloaked figure sighs, like this was just routine, and then a blinding flash erupts. No way! The cloaked figure's eyes are glowing red, and he's radiating power. Something's seriously wrong. Suddenly, a massive explosion rips through the clearing, and our boy is at the epicenter. What the heck is happening? Multiple cloaked assassins are sent flying and our boy is floating too. The nanomachines are going wild. He's completely surrounded by energy, a golden aura, and the assassins are scrambling back in fear. This is a power-up! Our boy's body is reshaping, reforming, and the nanomachines are rebuilding him from the inside out. It's insane! The assassins charge again, but they're facing something completely different now. A reborn warrior. He's standing tall, radiating power, and those assassins are about to learn they messed with the wrong orphan. This is payback time. The assassins are confused. What was that white light? They're seriously questioning everything right now. Our boy activates shift, and his legs blur with speed. He's moving faster than they can even see. One assassin spots him, eyes wide with shock, but it's already too late. This dude is a blur. He's spinning, a whirlwind of motion, and slashes at the assassin with insane precision. Turn is all it takes. The sword swings, and another assassin goes flying. Foosh, seriously, these guys don't stand a chance. He's slicing through them all, a blue energy trail following his every move. It's a total massacre. The assassins are falling, completely overwhelmed, and a blue figure rises from the chaos. It's our boy transformed. He's crackling with energy, sparks flying everywhere, and his clothes are reforming. The nanomachines are working overtime. Our boy is standing strong, completely rebuilt, and these assassins are about to realize they picked the wrong fight. Long ago, warriors in China start learning martial arts just to defend themselves. Honestly, a relatable origin story. But over time, these self-defense skills evolve into something way more lethal, a real fighting art. They develop complex fighting styles and breathing techniques to boost their power. Then write it all down! These techniques become seriously powerful far beyond normal humans, and a new class of warrior, the murim, is born. People flock to these murim masters hoping to become their disciples, which is pretty standard, right? However, these masters aren't just handing out skills, they're training a whole army, and it looks intense. Our boy is a weak, bullied prince and straight up getting pushed around. It's kinda sad. But then, nanomachines from his future descendant arrive, and things are about to change fast. This dude can now analyze anything, techniques, poisons, instantly. No way that doesn't level the playing field. Now he's got the power to become a murim warrior himself, and honestly, the bullies are about to regret everything. He wakes up, confused and soaked, realizing he was stabbed in the stomach. Ouch! But wait, he's alive. This dude should be dead, straight up. He's trying to figure out what happened, what even is going on right now. Then it hits him. Something shifted inside, and he feels different, way stronger. He tries to sit up, testing his body, and honestly, it feels incredible. He's remembering all the times he was weak, bullied, and helpless. But that's about to change. Our boy vows to overtake the patriarch and become the second demon lord. Talk about a glow up! This is the story of Yeo Chien, and it's already getting intense. The title card hits, Nanomachine, and the artist-writer info is dropping. We're starting Chapter 1. Teen Machine. The demonic spirit descends. Buckle up, it's gonna be a ride. He touches his wound and realizes it's covered in some black, sticky substance. Super unsettling, bro. He smells something fall and notices his entire body is soaked in this goo, feeling straight up nauseous. Then, a voice asks if he's awake, and this dude is instantly freaked out. What is going on? Suddenly, something jumps at him, and he instinctively tries to defend himself, but it's all happening so fast. He's seeing dark tendrils. It feels like something is inside his head, and honestly, it's terrifying. The voice speaks up again, confirming it is inside his head. Talk about a violation of personal space? He demands to know who, or what, is inside him, and things are escalating quickly. But it's not a person, it's something else entirely. The nanomachines are taking over. No way this isn't wild. He's reeling, trying to process everything, and this dude is clearly losing it. Our boy is about to get a whole lot more powerful, but at what cost? This is going to be a long journey. He's screaming, completely losing it as the nanomachines flood his system. It's a full-on meltdown. He's mumbling nanomachine, the name of his future descendant, and the source of these things, is coming out. But the voice confirms it. These aren't just nanomachines, they are machine, a demonic spirit, and our boy is shocked. He collapses, hitting the floor hard, and starts trembling uncontrollably. This is straight up terrifying. He's asking if it's true, if he really is machine, and his body is shaking like a leaf, bro. However, before anyone can answer, someone calls for Physician Bake, and things are shifting gears fast. They're talking about an assassination attempt. Someone tried to take our boy out, and honestly, that's a bad move. Turns out they've been trying to kill him for a while. This dude has been a target for a long time. No way this is a coincidence. Physician Bake is leading the way, and it's clear this isn't just about healing. Something bigger is happening. This whole situation is wild. A bullied prince, nanomachines, assassination attempts, and a demonic spirit. This is going to be epic. Guard Jang is laying down the facts. If anyone could trick him, it had to be the stealth squad. He thinks young Master Qian surviving the attack is a miracle, and honestly, it kinda is. They're walking, and Guard Jang is questioning something. He's got a bad feeling, and we can tell. He narrows his eyes, realizing something isn't right, and bro, the tension is building. Then, they find the stealth squad, or what's left of them, and it's a gruesome scene. Lying on the ground are the bodies of the warriors, but their upper halves are just gone. However, there's one body still intact, and it's a total shocker. It's the one who gave young Master Qian the dagger. He's lying there, stabbed with his own weapon, and it's a messed up twist, no way. But the whole thing is even stranger, because even though the bodies are wrecked, there's no sign of a struggle. Guard Jang gasps, something's seriously wrong, and it's clear this isn't a normal assassination. Not too far from the bodies is young Master Qian, and he's lost a ton of blood. This is bad. But hold up. He's lying there with his clothes pierced by a sword, yet there isn't a scratch on him. Guard Jang is freaking out, questioning how this is even possible, and honestly, same? He wonders who could have helped young Master Qian, but dismisses the patriarch as being involved. They rush toward the young master's chambers, and Guard Jang is clearly rattled. Then, young Master Qian straight up asks if it was Great Machine who saved him. Talk about a surprise! Young Master Qian's nanomachines are working overtime, trying to figure out what self-regenerating even means. The nanomachines explain they're transferring basic info, but then Guard Jang asks what a user is. Smooth move, bro. Suddenly, the nanomachines reveal they aren't the demonic spirit machine, and young Master Qian is seriously confused. The voice changes, and it's clear something's off. The nanomachines offer to download an instruction manual directly into his brain. He agrees to the transfer, and instantly electricity starts crackling all around him. This is getting intense. The nanomachines flood his system, and our boy is straight up choking, struggling against the surge of power. Heave, this dude is vomiting a ton off something, and it's a messy, shocking sight. The energy is overwhelming, and honestly, it looks like it's tearing him apart from the inside. But hold up, despite the chaos his eyes snap open, glowing with a new, intense blue light. This is no longer the weak young Master Qian. Something has fundamentally changed, and it's terrifying. He's reeling, head spinning, and collapses. But then the nanomachines kick in, analyzing everything around him. The nanomachines identify themselves as 6.4 billion nanomachines residing inside him and address him as master. No way! He tries to get them to leave, but they reveal they're programmed to stay until he dies. Talk about a commitment. Our boy sighs, realizing this is his life now, and then drops a bombshell: his half-siblings are trying to kill him. And it doesn't stop there. He's got these strange machines inside him, heirs on top of a family trying to assassinate him. He's clearly overwhelmed, but the nanomachines are already cataloging everything, and honestly, it's kinda creepy. But he's not just a helpless victim. This dude is processing insane amounts of data, and a plan is forming. He's realizing this isn't just some random power-up, and straight up acknowledges he's not human or machine anymore. Our boy is stepping into a whole new league, and he's about to rewrite his destiny. This is gonna be epic. He's got nanomachines, a death wish from his family, and a whole lot of potential. This is where the real story begins. He's trying to silence the nanomachines, demanding they stay quiet, because talking to a machine sounds insane. The nanomachines agree to switch to thought-only communication. But our boy still wants complete silence, muting them temporarily. He's faking sleep, hoping to blend in, while two figures enter the room, intending to examine him quietly. But the floorboards creak, and one of them catches a strange scent coming from young Master Qian. Something's off. Oops, the nanomachines reactivated, and now he's emitting a purple haze, straight up leaking power. The elder physician recognizes him, recalling he once cared for Qian's mother, a connection from the past. They ask if he remembers, and Qian confirms, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. This is getting interesting. However, the nanomachines are analyzing the physician's energy, identifying a hidden, dangerous technique. It turns out the physician is a master of disguise, and this is his first time meeting Qian. Total deception. The nanomachines reveal the physician is known as the Shadow, a notorious assassin, and our boy is his next target. Okay, so things are intense. There are these 4 major sects: poison, saber, musician, and sword, all super powerful. But here's the real kicker: they all have a pact with this demonic cult, a seriously shady group. They're basically offering up their daughters to the cult's leader to produce heirs. No way. It's a messed up deal. These heirs are raised by their mothers' families, then sent to the demonic arts academy when they're older. The academy only opens once every 10 years, making it super exclusive, and the competition is insane. However, there's a time when the competition gets even fiercer, and that's when the candidates enter the academy. It's all about becoming a minor priest, basically an elite guard, and the pressure is on to succeed. We're getting a glimpse of the head of the demonic cult and his inner circle. They look menacing, to say the least. This dude is straight up ruthless, and his followers are just as scary, setting the stage for a brutal power struggle. So, the old master is checking on our boy, but this dude is already plotting how to hide the nanomachines. He's pretending to be asleep, and honestly, the acting is kinda bad, but the master buys it for now. The master leaves, and our boy immediately sits up. He's seriously worried about getting discovered. He thinks he's in the clear because current medical tech can't detect the nanomachines. That's confidence? But the master actually paused at the door, and he's totally suspicious about something being off. The master asks if he's leaving, offering to escort him, and our boy has to play it cool and accept. He's trying to act normal, but he's internally freaking out, calculating the odds of getting caught. The master is giving him the side eye the entire time. This is so tense, bro. Our boy is convinced the master suspects something, and he's bracing for a confrontation. However, the master just seems concerned about him leaving, and it seems like he wants to make sure he's safe. The master is totally lost in thought, wondering how this young master transformed so drastically. It's a real head-scratcher. He remembers this dude being weak and sickly as a kid, destined to be useless, but now he's a powerhouse. A mysterious woman appears, and she confirms he's become incredibly strong, just like the other sect masters. The master is still suspicious. He knows the kid is a servant's son and wonders if His Holiness is involved somehow. He's conflicted, because he never cared for this young master before, but now he's starting to question everything. The master decides if His Holiness helped him in secret, he won't acknowledge it. Talk about stubborn pride. He walks away, muttering about how interesting the academy will be this year. Something's brewing, for sure. Our boy breathes a sigh of relief, thinking he didn't notice anything, and honestly, that was close. He peeks out cautiously, eyes narrowed. This dude is seriously on edge, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But the master is already gone, and our boy is left wondering what he was thinking. The tension is killing me. Guard Jang is absolutely fuming. He's convinced our boy is filthy and demands a bath immediately. This dude tries to thank Jang for saving him, but gets straight up shut down. Jang isn't interested in gratitude. Jang pinches his nose, complaining about the smell, and our boy just accepts his fate, which is kinda sad. Everyone around him confirms he reeks, and honestly, after all that training, it's understandable. He's stripped down and stepping into a wooden tub, and it's kinda awkward, but necessary. He's soaking in the water, and it's super hot. You can see the steam rising and the sweat dripping. He's starting to realize just how much dirt and grime was caked on him. It's a little disturbing. But then he starts thinking back, wondering what would have happened if Guard Jang hadn't found him. He closes his eyes, letting the water wash over him, and finally starts to relax a little. Peace at last. He's lost in thought, but bro is seriously glistening. Nanomachines and hot water are a powerful combo. He's thinking about blood loss versus flesh wounds, and realizes healing takes way longer if you lose tissue. Smart. But Guard Jang overhears and straight up asks what he's mumbling about. This dude is always eavesdropping. Our boy suggests he could test his theories, but Jang just scoffs. He doesn't understand a thing. Without warning, Jang grabs a knife and slices his own hand. No way, he's going full on experiment mode? It hurts, obviously, and he's trembling. But he's determined to see if this kid's healing is real. The nanomachines kick in, initiating healing, and our boy is absolutely shocked. It's happening so fast. He's staring at his hand, amazed as the wound visibly stretches and repairs itself. It's like watching magic. The skin is literally reforming, closing the cut before our eyes. This is insane, bro. Jang is speechless, staring at his healed hand, and our boy can't help but say, wow. He's officially impressed. However, the nanomachines are clearly draining him, and he's starting to look exhausted. This power comes at a cost. He's reeling, completely stunned by what just happened. His body is changing so fast, it's unreal. He's trying to wrap his head around the fact that his muscles have grown as if he's trained for years. It's a total power up. But he's not stopping there. He wonders about all the other information the nanomachines transferred into his brain. He decides to test everything out as soon as he's done with his bath. This dude is about to become a fighting machine, and then, bam, he starts flexing, showing off his newly formed muscles, and the nanomachines are glowing. Seriously, his abs are popping. He's got a six-pack that would make anyone jealous, and those scars are looking sharp. He's flexing even harder, completely lost in the transformation. This is straight up ridiculous, but awesome. He's amazed at the speed and power. It's like the nanomachines are rebuilding him from the inside out. However, it's clear this is exhausting, and he's starting to look worn out. Power always has a price, right? Our boy is starting to seriously transform. He's becoming a completely different person, and it's happenings now. He straight up explains to the old man that creating something from nothing is impossible, but restructuring existing tissue. Easy. The old man is not impressed, saying all his studying feels like a waste of time, and honestly, fair enough. He asks if the old man just skims the texts, and the answer is a firm eyes. This dude is a speed raider. Apparently, the library only has texts on acupoints and Q circulation, which is kinda limiting, right? The old man explains the breathing method to train mind and body. It's supposed to get you to third-rate master level, but takes a lifetime. Our boy thinks learning the acupoints will be better, and then he just starts, no warning, no hesitation. He's diving in head first, and the old man just gives the go ahead. This is about to get intense. He's flipping through pages, absorbing information at insane speeds. The nanomachines are working overtime. He's analyzing everything, the flow of ki, the acupoint locations. This dude is a learning machine, literally. And the old man, he's just watching, saying yes, please proceed, master. The power dynamic has definitely shifted. Okay? The nanomachines are going wild. It's like a digital storm inside his head. The old man confirms the scan is complete, then drops a heavy book. Talk about dramatic timing. He's analyzing the text, and the old man is just there, looking surprised and a little scared. Suddenly, energy jolts through our boy. It looks painful, like the nanomachines are overloading. He's clearly struggling, but pushing through the pain. This dude is seriously dedicated. Everything goes white, and he's engulfed in this crazy digital energy. It's intense. He's absorbing all the data, and the room is flooded with blue light. No way this is normal. The old man's book wobbles and falls, and he looks genuinely freaked out. Understandable, TB. But wait, the old man is asking if he's been worrying about him. Seriously. Our boy just stares him down. He's done playing nice, and the power shift is complete. He's flopped onto a chair, totally lost. Now what do I do is a legit question right now. His future self's voice echoes, telling him to focus on the information like when he got the manual. He starts thinking about acupoints and his face screws up in concentration. This is going to be intense. His eyes widen and he's clearly processing something huge. It's like a light bulb just went off. Sweat's dripping and he's grinning like a maniac. Something's definitely changed and fast. The old man asks if there were errors in the text, and our boy casually drops that he corrected them. He admits to fixing mistakes based on data from his own database. This dude is next level. The old man's jaw drops. Errors. There are errors. He's realizing how far behind he is. Our boy delivers the final blow. He can study martial arts texts faster than anyone. Mic drop. He's radiating confidence, and the blue energy is still swirling. Straight up unstoppable now. The old man's still reeling, demanding to know how our boy corrected the errors. It's a full-on interrogation. But he's completely outmatched, because this dude is explaining he's analyzing techniques as he reads them. He's basically saying he's reverse engineering centuries of martial arts knowledge, and it's blowing everyone's minds. Our boy is waking up in this fancy room, and the sun is rising over a breathtaking view. It's finally the day he enters the Academy of Demonic Arts. He's lying in bed, thinking it's still early, but then he hears a creak and realizes someone is already there. He throws the covers off and honestly, this dude moves fast, springing out of bed to confront whoever's there. He's got this intense look on his face, sizing up the situation, ready for a fight, and bro is not messing around. He's leaping through the open window, a whirlwind of motion, and it's all happening so quickly. No way! But someone is already waiting for him, swinging a sword straight at his face. Talk about a rude awakening. He barely dodges the attack, the blade whistling past his head, and then he's launched into the air with incredible force. This dude is tumbling through the air, spinning wildly, and there's a whole lot of whoosh and swoosh sound effects happening. He's crashing down onto the courtyard floor, but our boy is already bracing for impact, ready to get back up. He's back on his feet, dodging another attack, and it's clear this is going to be a brutal first day at the academy. He's thinking back, realizing he should have learned a defensive technique, but then immediately shuts it down. But he remembers a promise to his mother. No martial arts before the academy, and it's clearly eating at him. Suddenly, his master appears, and our boy is totally caught off guard, staring with wide eyes. The master launches into a whirlwind of attacks, blades flashing, and this dude is scrambling to react. He's dodging and weaving, trying to analyze the master's technique, but it's happening way too fast. He's getting pummeled, but then the nanomachines kick in. He's processing everything, seeing the flow of energy. He manages to block an attack, and for a split second, he's matching his master's skill. No way! However, the master quickly overwhelms him again, launching another devastating attack. This is intense. He's getting absolutely destroyed, tears streaming down his face, but he refuses to fall, straight up refusing. Our boy is battered and bruised, but he's locked eyes with his master, and you can tell he's not backing down. He's determined to learn self-defense before entering the academy, and straight up declares he won't go in unprepared. He's thinking he needs to access a database of martial arts techniques, and the nanomachines are ready to deliver. A ton of martial artists appear as ghostly figures, and it's like the nanomachines are downloading their skills. No way! The nanomachines are initiating a scan, and his eyes are glowing bright blue. This is getting intense. He's getting flooded with data, and it's almost too much to handle, but he's pushing through. He's practicing a technique, testing it out, and the nanomachines are analyzing his movements in real time. He's perfecting the move, and it's clear he's absorbing these skills at an insane rate. This dude is a prodigy. He's focused, mastering the new skill, and you can see the determination burning in his eyes. But the master interrupts, asking why he didn't come at noon, and our boy explains he needed to train. He confidently states he's learned to protect himself, and honestly, the master looks impressed. The nanomachines finish the scan, declaring all techniques successfully downloaded. That's a wrap. The transfer starts and this dude is getting blasted with data, collapsing under the strain. Ouch. He hits the floor, but it's over quickly, and he slumps against the wall, totally wiped out. He's exhausted, but says it's getting easier to absorb these skills. That's a good sign. But then his eyes snap open, and he's staring at something. What is it? He's freaking out, a wide grin spreading across his face. And it's kinda creepy, not gonna lie. He realizes he can't control the nanomachines, and straight up asks what's going on. The nanomachines are analyzing everything around him, even without his command. Talk about overpowered. He's realizing the full extent of the nanomachine's abilities, and it's both awesome and terrifying. He's seeing the world differently now, and it looks like he's about to discover something huge. No way! He instinctively grabs a dagger mid-air, and the nanomachines immediately start analyzing Zhang's technique. This is insane. He feels it, Zhang's dagger technique, and suddenly understands it all, recognizing every nuance and flaw. But he realizes Zhang is approaching and he needs to hide, fast. No way can he get caught right now! He bolts for the door, throwing it open with a clack and slipping out before Zhang can see him. He's moving so fast, almost a blur, shifting and stepping with newfound speed. The nanomachines are really working! His eyes flash with power, and honestly, the intensity is kinda terrifying, but super cool. He's totally drained, but the nanomachines are still going, and he's pushing himself to the limit. He's analyzing everything around him. Zhang's technique, the room, everything. This dude is a walking scanner. He's got a serious look on his face. He's realizing just how much power he has now, and it's a game changer. However, he can't fully control the nanomachines. They're working independently, and that's a little unsettling. He's mastered Zhang's technique, a 20-year-old skill, but the nanomachines skipped the training process entirely. He's freaking out. He didn't earn this power, and it's overloading his system straight up. The nanomachines analyze his muscle fibers and tendons, offering to transfer the information directly. Wild. He asks if they can transfer it to his muscles too, and honestly, good question, bro. But if he doesn't accept the transfer, the nanomachines threaten to overload him. No pressure. Suddenly, blue energy blasts out from his body. It looks painful, but he's bracing for the transfer. The energy surges through him, and he cries out. This is intense, and he's clearly struggling. He's completely overwhelmed, but the nanomachines are forcing the technique into his muscles. Our boy is gasping and trembling. This is a risky move, and he's pushing his body to the limit. However, it looks like the transfer is complete, and he's changed. This is going to be huge. He's questioning what's wrong with him. And the nanomachines are straight up diagnosing the problem. Turns out, he used the technique without building up the muscle strength needed. Ouch, major damage. The nanomachines offer to adjust the language level for easier understanding, but it comes off kinda insulting. He's offended. Can you blame him? It's like they're saying he's too dumb to get it. The adjustment is complete, and they confirm he hasn't trained with this technique before. Duh! They explain his brain understands the technique, but his body needs to catch up. Makes sense, actually. The nanomachines need to transfer muscle development info through simulation. Basically, fake training. He's still struggling to understand, but it's a little better. The nanomachines ask if he wants to lower the level further. He's visibly annoyed, but accepts, and the nanomachines confirm they'll initiate the transfer. They warn him it'll take 2 hours to activate all the nanomachines. This is going to be a long process. Someone asks if it hurts a lot, and the nanomachines drop a bomb. 1,350,000 people have fainted during this process. He's bracing himself, squeezing his own arm like it's the only thing keeping him grounded. The simulation starts, and this dude immediately flinches. It's clearly not a pleasant sensation. He tries to play it cool, saying it just tickles, but his face says otherwise. Total denial. But the nanomachines aren't buying it. He sighs, admitting something's definitely wrong. Then bam, cracking sounds echo as his body straight up starts breaking down. No way! He's collapsing, and the nanomachines are working overtime to repair the damage. It's intense. He's wobbling, clearly losing consciousness, and the nanomachines are scrambling to stabilize him. He's completely out of it, and the nanomachines are still trying to manage the fallout. This is rough. Our boy is in a world of hurt, but the nanomachines are determined to push through. This is going to be a long 2 hours. He wakes up groggy, but immediately starts chopping vegetables. This dude is determined to cook. He tastes the broth and is straight up shocked. Apparently the nanomachines boosted his cooking skills too. He's planning a feast for the young master, all of his favorite dishes, but something's off with his expression. He's slicing cabbage like a pro, but his eyes are intense. He's analyzing everything. It's kinda creepy. A woman is lying in bed, looking weak, and she asks him to take care of the young master. It's a heavy request. He stares intently, studying her face. The nanomachines are probably dissecting her condition right now. He's focused, but you can see the strain in his eyes. This whole process is clearly taking a toll on him. His gaze narrows and you can see a subtle scar on his face. Something is definitely bothering him. He's committing every detail to memory, every line an imperfection. He's not just cooking, he's observing. She entrusts the young master to him, but he looks conflicted. Like he's questioning everything. He promises to take care of the young master, but his face is stone cold. He's clearly hiding something now. Our boy wakes up, straight up gasping, realizing something insane just happened. He's freaking out, but then he realizes his body is changing, like seriously changing. He's shifting, and the nanomachines are working overtime, reshaping his muscles and tendons. He vows to never do that again, and his bodyguard warns him he did warn him about this. But he's lying on the floor confused, wondering why he's even there and if guard Jang was involved. Then, for some reason, he decides to test out the dagger technique, lifting a blade dangerously close to his feet. He thinks it won't hurt because of the nanomachines, and honestly, he's starting to get a little cocky. The nanomachines have converted his muscle fibers to match someone who trained for 20 years. That's intense. He's steaming, and it looks like the process is taking a toll, but he's pushing through it. No way, this dude just leveled up his physique overnight, and it's kinda terrifying. He's testing the dagger technique, and it's like watching a completely different person move. So much faster. The blade slices through the air, and the nanomachines are reacting, reinforcing his body against the cut. He realizes it's the same sequence he's seen before, but his movements are now way more precise and powerful. Our boy is unleashing a flurry of attacks, and the speed is insane. A full-on blade storm. He's grinning like a maniac, clearly enjoying this newfound power, and honestly, it's kinda scary. He's spinning, dodging, and slicing. The nanomachines are keeping up, reinforcing every movement flawlessly. He's testing the limits, pushing himself harder, and the blade is almost an extension of his own body now. He completes the first sequence, and bro is exhausted, but also totally hyped with the results. But it's not just physical. He's analyzing the technique as he performs it, learning and adapting on the fly. This dude's about to become a monster, and I have a feeling the Academy of Demonic Arts isn't ready. He's landing, and the force cracks the wooden floor, straight up leaving footprints in the wood. He's shocked he can do that without mastering internal energy, realizing he's gotten the external technique down, but he's still got zero internal technique, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. Someone's knocking, and it's breakfast. Talk about bad timing. He tries to press down on the damaged floor, but it's not working at all, and he's panicking. Our boy is totally losing it, yelling, "What does he even do? This is a mess." He's realizing he can leave footprints, but it's exhausting, and he's struggling to control it. However, he's quickly analyzing what's happening, figuring out the technique as he goes. This dude is pushing himself, learning on the fly, and honestly, it's kinda awesome. He's exhausted, but he's already adapting. The nanomachines are working overtime, and he's getting stronger. He's playing it cool, acting all hungry and innocent towards his uncle. What a smooth operator. But his uncle is calling him out, asking why he's suddenly craving food after leaving home. Our boy tries to play it off, saying he just felt like switching things up, total fit, but he's trying. He's hoping his uncle bought it, but is secretly panicking. This is getting intense. And then, bam, breakfast arrives, and it's literally all his favorites laid out on a tray. He's thinking this might be the last time he eats his uncle's cooking, which is kinda dark. But before he can even take a bite, his body is reacting. Acid reflux is kicking in from the sudden emotion. The nanomachines are going wild, stimulating his salivary glands to counteract the acid. It's a full-on internal battle. He's choking, eyes wide, clearly struggling. This is not a good look, bro. No way. His face is contorted, and he's totally losing it, all over a plate of food. His uncle is straight up worried, telling him to slow down. But our boy is inhaling that food. He thanks his uncle Jang, and then wham, his hand shoots out and snatches the chopsticks. His uncle is confused, asking when he learned that dagger technique. This dude is getting cornered. Our boy is stammering, trying to play it off, but his uncle isn't buying it for a second. Suddenly he lunges forward, grabbing his uncle's wrist. It's a surprise attack. His uncle is thrown off balance and dragged across the room. Everything happens so fast. No way. They crash into a barrel, and his uncle is clearly shocked, yelling out in surprise. The scene cuts to a chaotic mess of limbs, and it's clear things have gone completely south. He's gone full on berserk, and it's intense. This is a whole different level of power. But the nanomachines are clearly taking a toll. He's sweating, and looks like he's about to collapse. He's reeling, saying he was blinded by Nano's power and did something unthinkable. This is heavy. He's mumbling about having nothing to say, even if his uncle despises him. Talk about a low point. Jing is impressed, praising him for his work, but our boy is clearly not feeling it. Suddenly, he spots something, a piece of paper, and asks what it is, instantly curious. He grabs the paper and realizes it's the key to circulating Chu. No way, this is a game changer? He starts reading, but his eyes widen in disbelief, clearly shocked by what's written. He's staring off into the distance, completely lost in thought. Something big is brewing. His face is a mess of conflicted emotions, and honestly, he looks like he's about to crack. He's clutching the paper tightly, lost in his own world. This dude is seriously struggling. He's got tears in his eyes, a mix of regret and determination. But what is he planning? He's breaking down, straight up sobbing and promising he'll never cry again. This is intense. He's curled up in bed, clutching the covers, making this vow. It's a raw, vulnerable moment. Flashback time. It's been 5 years since his mom passed away, and everyone acknowledges how strong he's been. However, they all agree he's still just a kid who needs his parents. Ouch, that hits different. His uncle walks by and our boy is just sitting there all alone. The isolation is crushing. He's replaying everything in his head, and it's clear the nanomachines are letting him process his grief. He remembers his mom's love and guidance. It's a sweet, painful flashback sequence. He's finally confronting the pain, vowing to become strong enough to protect those he loves. But this dude isn't just grieving, he's making a promise. A turning point for sure. And honestly, this is a huge step for him, finally letting himself feel and commit to change. His uncle is laying down the law. No academy for our boy, straight up. But it's not a no, it's a not while I'm around kind of deal. He's telling him to embrace the pain, to cry it out now so he can get stronger. A super harsh but maybe helpful pep talk. Our boy actually thanks him, then turns and slams the door. Wow, that was fast. He's letting the tears flow, wiping his face, and taking deep breaths, finally letting go of everything. He's declaring no more fear, no more hesitation, and honestly, that's the energy we needed to see. He's remembering his mother, thinking she's gone. A heartbreaking realization, but it's fueling him. However, he immediately follows that up with "I still have a home to return to." That's a surprisingly hopeful thought. He's walking away from the house, head held high, and it's a total mood shift. This dude is different now. He's leaving everything behind, but he's not broken. This is a new beginning for our boy. And honestly, that final shot of him walking away is a power move. The transformation is complete. He arrives at the academy and immediately senses something is off. Everyone is whispering. People are murmuring about the demonic cult being here, and honestly, it's super unsettling. Our boy is straight up nervous now that he's actually at the academy, but he's trying to stay strong. Someone points out this academy also hosts the grand tournament for the minor priesthood. Things are getting complicated. A figure steps forward and everyone falls silent. This is intense, bro. This dude is walking with purpose, and the speed lines make it clear he's not messing around. He's moving through the crowd, and the sheer number of people is a little scary. He's making a beeline for the center of the academy. What's he planning? The crowd parts for him, and it's clear this dude commands respect, or maybe just fear. He stops right in front of the main building, and the tension is thick. Something big is about to happen. This dude straight up declares he's here to challenge the heavenly demon. Talk about a bold move.